Hello and welcome to or back to the channel, and today we're back to the Norfolk ghost stories. So what do we have for you today? The title says a little bit, but there's more to it, as it usually is. As with most ghost stories, there's more story build up than there is actual scares. Now this is one of two actually malevolent, perhaps, well definitely scary experiences I've had with the paranormal. And considering how many experiences I've had, that shows you it's not all scary. It's not all frightening, bad, nasty, evil, demons, whatever certain other shows might have you think. So, what happened? Well, I was going to a friend's brother's girlfriend's, 21st birthday party, and it was at her parents' house, and they lived in the middle of nowhere, somewhere, I think northwest of Norwich. Can't remember exactly where because it was 20 odd years ago and I only went there the once. And it was an old farmhouse with a barn, shed, barn, whichever you want to call it, which was an old World War II Nissan hut. Now a Nissan hut is the old sort of semicircular, almost like a semicircular tunnel made out of the corrugated iron, concrete front and back, that kind of thing. Nothing spectacular. Mostly used as barracks or whatever on air bases, which is where this one came from. It came from World War II air base. No one was entirely sure of the history of that particular Nissan hut, or even exactly where it came from, but suffice to say, something bad likely happened in there. But to start things off, before the party started, as it were, I got told that the barn was haunted. Oh, cool. Let's go and have a look, see what I can feel, see, hear, experience. So I went in there. This was about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Nothing. It was just an old shed barn thing. It wasn't nothing at all. I said, yeah, I'm not feeling anything in there. I'm not experiencing anything. So the guy says to me, well, no, leave it for it. It's after dark. He says no one goes in there after dark. Fair enough. So there is another one. He says, come with me. Fair enough again. Wander off. Even back then I wasn't necessarily a huge fan of parties, so the chance to be away from the party was always a good thing. And he takes me off into the house. Again, old farmhouse, probably 400 or 500, maybe 600 years old, that kind of place. Takes me through into the front room, the living room, lounge, whichever you call it. And he says, just have a wander around in here. He says, because we don't use this room very often. Just see if there's anything you notice. So, okay, fair enough. I'm thinking, am I being set up for something here? So, wander around slowly, just taking it all in. I get to this point, just to the side in front of the fireplace, about 6 feet away from the fire, right? There's something here. What do you feel? gonna sound weird. I said, little old lady? Yeah, exactly. He says, people who owned this house before us, the grandma as it were, unfortunately passed away in her armchair right in front of the fire. You're standing right where her armchair used to be. Well, fair enough. I can feel these things, obviously. So, man, good. Again, nothing scary. It was just a feel. It was a vibe, an energy, or something, that kind of thing. So, fair enough. Leave it at that. Nothing really to report. Party went on. Usual shenanigans got up to. I may have accidentally blown a Zippo lighter up. Don't ask. A few drinks I had, and this was back in the days when I used to drink a lot. So for me, back then I was surprisingly sober. My throat's playing up today for some reason. So party goes on, good time is had, barbecue, drinks, smokes. People start leaving. I thought, it's going to be quiet. Well, it's about 11 o'clock at night, half 11, something like that. I thought, I'll go check the barn out. You know, they said, no. Well, if you go in there after dark, because we don't go in there after dark. So, I walk over to the barn, nothing. Walk into the barn, and as soon as I walk in, there's a heavy atmosphere. Like just before a storm, it's all heavy. You can feel something in the air. I'll walk in a bit further. Just standing there, seeing whether I can feel anything, make anything out, see anything, experience anything. And I start feeling cold. Bear in mind this was middle of August, so even in England, middle of August, it doesn't get cold at night. So, okay, there's definitely something going on. So, yeah. I'm only about 10-15 feet into the barn at this point. I walk forward a few more steps and kind of under my breath so that people outside didn't hear. You don't want to look completely idiotic at these things any more than you have to. And I sort of say, now, is there anyone here? Is there someone else in this barn with me? Would you like to make contact? I didn't hear anything or see anything. I thought, well, yeah, I mean, it's not a nice atmosphere, but perhaps that's what it is that's freaking people out. But fair enough. Waited a little longer, maybe a minute or so. Nothing happened. Then I turned my back to leave. And the only way I can explain it, it was as if a cross between the Balrog from Lord of the Rings and a Bloodthirster of Khorne from Games Workshop was stood, just felt it. I couldn't see anything or anything. Just felt this massive presence just looming behind me. Just waves of malevolence and hate coming off of it. Yes, I got out of there quickly. I didn't run. I don't run. I just walked as calmly as I could manage out of the door. As soon as I was out the door, the feeling disappeared. I was still frozen. I didn't realise how frozen I was. So I go back to the party where there's only a few people left, and I said to the owners, yeah, there's something not nice in that barn. Something that really doesn't like people being around. And they took one look at me. I was white as a sheet. I was shaking. And I thought, yeah, we'd best get you sat down. So took my hand and instantly dropped it, because my hands were like blocks of ice. I was like a block of ice. Yeah. Sat me down in front of the gas fire, turned the gas fire on, got me a hot drink, and it probably took me an hour and a half to warm up. And the people were obviously into the paranormal and that kind of thing, and they were into the crystals. So to this day, I can't remember what they were doing or why they were doing it. It just seemed a good idea at the time, and I was going to go along with it. So I was given a crystal on a chain wrapped around my hand. So I was holding it. So I think if the crystal goes one way, it means yes. If it goes the other way, it means no. That kind of thing. If you ask questions, I'm just holding this chain with a crystal. I think it was an amethyst or something, maybe a quartz, and it got hot. I mean, real hot. To the point I had literally put it down, drop it on the table, shake my hand. Now I wasn't gripping it tight, it was just wrapped loosely around my hand, and you could see the imprint all the way around my hand of where that chain had been. It had literally burnt me. And that was it. I warmed up, I went home, I went to bed, I went to sleep, and that's the end of the story. So, if you'd like to hear more Norfolk ghost stories, some of which have happened to me, others which I will troll through archives and do some research for myself and find these things out. If I can, I'll go to the places and try and experience things for myself. But if you'd like that, leave a like, subscribe, comment down below if you think there's any stories that you think I should cover. But anyway, thank you for watching. Have a good time. Stay safe. Peace out. Rock on. Bye bye.